telling me to come for me. No hesitation when I come forward. I won't let you go. When she telling me to come forward, come for me. That's what she telling me to come forward. No hesitation when I come forward. I won't let her go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's telling me to come forward, come for me. See, I don't know why. Finally now I just spoke my mind. I know it's long since we spoke sometime, but this thing no play, I go change your mind. Just give me some time, baby, please. Cause I don't have no time to waste. No more back and forth just like Aaliyah. That's all I wanna do right now. Grab it up. So you know me gonna grab it up. Body to body make a bend up for the reeling. Bad man turn you over like a steering. Well, when me gonna grab it up. So you know me gonna grab it up. Body to body make a bend up for the reeling. Bad man turn you over like a steering. Well, she's telling me to come forward, come for me. That's what she's telling me to come for me. No hesitation when I come forward. I won't let you go. When she's telling me to come forward, come for me. That's what she's telling me to come forward. No hesitation when I come forward. I won't let her go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's telling me to come forward, come for me.
That's killed it.
You made the decision to play Thiago. But Klopp doesn't change the system. Since move back left, you don't want to change from the 4-3.
Back again. Oi, what's going on, people? We're on the Jerry James Show once again, bringing you the boring conversation. Well, not so boring because at least it's not necessarily directly to do with Liverpool, something different to talk about. We're not engaging in any depressing topics, not talking about Klopp. Well, guess what? We are going to be talking about Klopp. Yeah, but shout out to everyone in the building. It's the Jerry James Show. Big up to G. Before I obviously look at the chat and the comments, make sure we're smashing the like, make sure we're getting that ticket to entry. We have to want to get the bouncers in. We need the bouncers back in because it's getting packed at the moment in the rave. It's getting packed, so we have to make sure. Do you know what I mean? People are paying their dues because a lot of people are skiving right now. But how you doing, G, man?
That's a lot of people are skiving. Yeah, 100%, man. I'm good, bro. I'm good. I think today's going to be a good topic, man. It's good to kind of just do something a little bit different. Until we get back to obviously Liverpool playing matches and that, you know, seeing how shit they are. But yeah, man, I think today's chat's going to be quite an interesting one. Everyone's got different opinions and stuff like that. At the end of the day, we don't really know ourselves anyway. Yeah, I mean, everything's just alleged at the moment. Obviously, people can see in the title. So yeah, man, I'm ready for this, bro. How are you, though?
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Tired. Obviously, I wanted to chat about this yesterday, but things come up, had some technical issues, so obviously couldn't do it. But we brought it to the people today. As you can see, people, and as you guys are already aware, Man City are in the mud. Over 100 alleged, charges, unprecedented charges are up against Man City right now, spanning all the way back from 2009 when Mancini was involved. Do you know what I mean? When Mancini and Balotelli were the Italian duo up at the Etihad. So it's crazy. Just speaking on that, we're going to speak on it, but I was going to obviously hit the comments first. We got King Cop in the building. Big up to King Cop saying, glad to see something come out that takes the focus of us, LOL. I heard Prem clubs are pushing for this to all be resolved this year. Some mud has to stick. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. And guess what? King Cop? I know you've been asking for it for a while. I know you have, and I apologize. I said I was gonna do it, and I need to make sure. Where is King? Hold on. There we go. Congratulations, you are now. Hold on. Hold on. What am I doing? There we go. You are now been made a moderator, King Cop. Thank you for your support. You wanted to be a mod, you messaged me directly and you got it. So big up to King Cop over there. Well,
big up your damn self.
We got Martin Swerve in the building saying, look, it'll be too little, too late, whatever the outcome. Time for the government to set up an independent body and get the Premier League to use some of the TV money to fund it, or just tax some of that TV money to fund it. Yeah, we're going to talk about this. We've got James Doherty saying, whatever happens, we need better staff, players, planning for the long term, and the medical department to work better, training, and maybe a new manager with fresh ideas. Gee, you've infected the fan base. You've infected the fan base. Everyone now is giving us the symptoms of just Klopp out murmurings everywhere, and G's loving it, We've got Romz in the building. Mr. Arsenal himself saying smash the likes. Big up. We got Captain Sal. We got RJ saying hold on. Question, I assume that is Man U, Liverpool, Arsenal, and all the big clubs won most of their trophies by spending their owners' money, as clubs didn't make bank those days. There was no such thing as FFP. FFP was created to create the status quo after Walker at Blackburn and Roman. The elite clubs didn't want others to be able to get onto the same level. FFP is the result. What do people think of it? Yeah, facts. We got Aaron in the building. We got psychedelic scientists. The Dugout Football. Big up to the Dugout. Make sure we're going heading over there and subscribing to the Dugout Football. We've got Ravi in the building saying smash the likes up, the subscribers. Jay-Z says it's about to go down. It is. We got Coutinho in the building saying FFP a wash designed to protect the cartel clan. United, Liverpool, Arsenal, United, Barca, Madrid, Bayern, etc. Yeah. I'm not surprised. Max Omuga saying he missed the song. Yeah, guess what? You might have to catch it on the replay, then, bro. You might have to catch it on the replay. Yeah, make sure we're still smashing a like. We got Cash Hate saying Klopp 3 times Premier League winner at G. He's coming for your neck, G. He's coming for your neck.
Yeah, let me see your medals, big man.
And we got Jamrock saying, big up Jerry and G. Did you guys realize Jota has missed 54 games since he's been at LFC? I don't want to talk about this team, bro. I don't want to, but we're gonna have to, innit? We're gonna have to talk about it. Jay saying Tom Little's a fake Scouser. Definitely not. Definitely not.
Why is he a fake Scouser? Hey, don't be dissing Tom when he's not here to defend himself. Can't do them things.
Exactly. But look, let's get into it, man. Just summarize like what you understand right now, like from this whole debacle that's going on with Man City, because obviously it is crazy. As mentioned before, 100 charges and unprecedented, Rico case. It is looking like, everyone's getting bagged, and even if you get the lawyer that says, you know what, I can take 50. I can take half of these charges away. I can make them disappear into thin air just by how good I am. You still got another 50 that you got to deal with, bro. You still got another 50 you have to. Even if that's 75%, you still got another 25 you got to deal with, bro. 25 charges. So it's looking crazy. It's looking crazy. Chat to me, man.
Bro, let's put it this way. You could have OJ Simpson's lawyer. It's still looking kind of peak on that side. So I don't really know. But with this whole thing, I think from what I gather, it's just they've basically just been lying about where this money has allegedly obviously been coming from, that they've been using towards things like, towards everything. People think it's just transfers, but it's towards literally everything that is running at that football club. You know, payments made to certain personnel, overpayments, payments that weren't really on the book. So, you know, I think Terry over at Football Terrace, if you guys want to check that out on his Twitter, he's put out quite a few emails that have come out, alleged emails that have been put out into public domain, where they talk about, you know, money and where that money is going to. I think I saw something like there was like 60 odd million that they had to put into something, but they were saying I need to give like X amount, like 70 million or something like that, and then 60's got to be used for this, and then we'll transfer you the extra 2.5 in the next quarter. All of these, again, check it out on Terry's Twitter page. I don't want to paraphrase or anything like that, but yeah, it just seems like what they've been doing is just effectively just lying about where this money is coming from, and what they're actually using it for. Paying off managers. Mancini, I think, was one of the managers, giving him extra money. For what? I don't really know, but giving him extra money behind closed doors, putting it through as something else. Yeah, that's kind of like the gist of ish. Again, I'm simplifying it as simple as humanly possible for individuals, but obviously we'll get into the nitty gritty of it now.
Yeah, exactly. Just to go and kind of refresh people's memory as well, we are actually going to go and show you guys some of the emails that were leaked. So, let me know when you guys can see this. Can you guys see the screen?
You might need to zoom in just a little. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Cool. So this is the first email, right? So it starts off obviously by saying, look, like this, which is rerouting money through multiple companies rather than direct via Abu Dhabi United Group. So that's obviously Man City's owners. So stating here, obviously, additional 50 million cash from Etisalat to be booked in 11/12 to be funded via Audi Group. As I mentioned earlier, it will be a challenge to affect this from a PL perspective, but let's assume we can achieve this. So we will include in the balance of 11/12 cash call additional PL win bonuses for 11/12 season from the Etihad 5 million, ADTA 1 million, and the Bar 1 million, all to be funded via ADUG, Abu Dhabi United Group. Additional 15M cash from Etisalat in 2012 to 2013 to be paid in quarter 3 and funded via ADUG. Total balance of 2011/12 cash call therefore becomes 31.7 million, being the original 9.7 million plus 22 million of the above new items. As you can see, what they're doing is they're using the Etisalat to go and pay. I mean, as opposed to it being from ADUG. So it's actually right there in bold. We got here from Graham Wallace, obviously who's someone that works at Manchester City Football Club. He mentions to Simon Pearce, Manchester City will need to demonstrate commercial income from multiple partners, in this case 4. So rather than being sent a lump sum from Abu Dhabi, it needs to be sent from elsewhere to avoid being caught depositing owner equity. So that's obviously to avoid being charged for FFP, paying necessary tax on that as well. So as you're seeing here, this is to Simon Pearce saying, Simon, please find attached an updated proposed funding schedule for quarter 2 funding. We have an operational business need to be able to show separately the cash receipts into our bank account that relate to partnership income versus those that relate to direct equity funding. What we therefore need is that the monies we are attributing to Etisalat, ADTA, Abar, and Etihad, as shown, are physically remitted to us by those businesses, as opposed to a combined receipt of partner equity funding, all remitted in one lump. We need this to be able to demonstrate the separation of ownership funding from Abu Dhabi-based partner monies to avoid any related party influence / control considerations. No, you're not looking for party influence control considerations. You just don't want to be bagged. That's essentially what they're saying. They just don't want to be bagged. So it is a bit mad. You then get another email saying, look, Graham and Simon at it again, with 67 million needing to be distributed via multiple tranches, in this case, bank accounts and dates, so that they can be identified as commercial funding rather than what it is, more owner equity. As you can see here, Simon, okay, thanks. I will circulate the document to the board for information. I will come back to you ASAP with suggested tranches and dates for the remaining 67 million, part of which we would like routed to us from different bank accounts so that we may identify cash inflows with specific partner agreements. I'll schedule it all out so that you have the visibility of what we would like and we can discuss the practicalities. As you can see, just to get that was just a quick summary. They've been bagged, innit? They've been bagged. They've been caught in 4K. And it's looking. Pete, just your standing on it, G. Before I get into the comments and get people's opinion on what's going on. what before we actually chat about what impact this actually has on Liverpool, because I think that's what's really interesting. No one's really discussing what this case has in store for the rest of the Premier League in regards to investment, in regards to sales, purchases, funding, all that type of stuff. So what's your opinion on City's actions? Do you believe they were cheating? Are you you don't really care? Do you think like Liverpool should get the Premier League titles? Do you believe they've been cheating? Have they just been a bit disingenuous? Are all Premier League clubs being disingenuous? What's your actual perspective on it?
The last point, yeah, I think all Premier League clubs are quite disingenuous. Even Liverpool as well. I think we've done things that might not be. I don't want to use the word legal because clearly we're not being investigated for anything. So clearly we're doing things in a right way, would I say? But we've obviously done things in the past that probably just, loopholed our way, but we've just not done it to the extent of what they're doing. Do I think they cheated? I don't know, man. I feel like I wouldn't use the word cheated for this. Like, I don't see it. Cheating might be the wrong word. I feel like there's another word. I don't know what it is, but I feel like there's another word for cheating. What they've done, I understand why they've done it. Obviously, they were a small club, and they were just trying to fast track their way to the top. Effectively, that's just what they were trying to do. They were trying to fast track their way. One thing is though, we got to remember, as much as they're obviously trying to reroute money in all these different types of areas, out of everybody in the Premier League, bar Newcastle now anyway, they have the money. They actually have that money. Like, it's not like that money is fake money and they just made it up and they actually have that cash. Like, if there's no such thing as FFP, they'd be able to boom, 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 boom. Of course, like most obviously owners, but they actually do have that cash. Obviously, under FFP rules, they cannot obviously spend more than what they are actually earning, etc., and sponsorships. When it starts becoming crazy is when you're seeing like they are generating more than, say, your Rome, like your Man United, your Real Madrid, and all these kind of other clubs that they've been higher than in the financial league table. That's where I'm like, like commercially anyway, commercial revenue. And I'm like, yeah. See, the thing is, your fan base is too small to have a higher commercial revenue. The only way I could have seen that is if you had won like the Champions League like the last 3 times in a row. Maybe if you'd done something like that, then I could probably say, all right, cool, say no more. That's probably what they were also looking for themselves. If they could have won the Champions League a couple of times, they might have been able to mask some of that even better than they have currently. But unfortunately, they haven't. I just think, I just don't know if I'd use the word cheating. Do I think we should get the titles? No, I don't think so. I think that's all done and dusted. The reality is, when we're on the pitch and stuff like that, they're not going out there signing, Lionel Messi, killing Mbappe and, Neymar and Sergio Ramos. Like, they're going out just still buying players, obviously, but they're not really going out to get the creme de la creme. If they were doing stuff like that, like a PSG, then I might look at it as, now you're cheating because now you're just getting the best players in the world and doing this, that, and the third. They're not really doing that, and they've never really done that, to be honest with you. So when it comes to the football side of things on pitch, I'm not really too bothered. Keep your Premier League titles. I'm not fussed with that. I also heard from Sky Sports the other day, the Big Six, they also don't care about these titles as well. I think it was Cavi, or whatever his name is. He was talking about, he said, the Big Six are not really that bothered about the Premier League titles that have already been played out. That's not really, they're more concerned with what's happening in the future, like in terms of they're looking at potentially getting Man City relegated and stuff like that. So I said, I'm more with that. I don't feel like we don't deserve to get the title. People were acting like, if Liverpool, if Man City didn't cheat or whatever, then Liverpool would have won it. I was like, you don't even know. Like, it could have just panned out a lot differently. Do you get what I mean? We don't know. Another team might have just been fighting. Like, we have no idea, kind of thing. It's just one of them ones. You can't really, hindsight's a wonderful thing and you can't really predict. But when it comes to on the pitch stuff, nah, man, keep your titles, bro. Like, no, there's no biggie with me. Like, keep them. We just move forward, innit? Like, I'm more concerned about what happens next, though. So I need to see Something. I don't know what would be. I don't know what would suffice, because I don't think the Premier League. What you got to understand is, if they get them relegated, one, they will try to appeal that, regardless of anything. So that in it. So once a decision is made, they'll obviously try to appeal the decision in itself at some point in time. This is going to take at least a year, probably, for it to get done. So then I'm just like, well, when does that impact even come into play? There's no point going on about the past, because the past has already happened. You can't affect what happened in the past. I feel like it's kind of sad that we're all talking about, oh yeah, Klopp has 3 titles. I'm like, nah, he doesn't. He has 1. Let's not go back and try and replay that kind of stuff. Like, he's got 1, and just leave it at that. Yeah, man.
Reason why, one of the reasons why I don't kind of agree with this whole kind of, I'll get the titles right, is because if you do that, then at the same premise, what about the teams that faced City? Because essentially what you're saying, you're marking those wins as null and void, right?
Yeah.
So how do those teams recover? For instance, teams that were challenged for the top 4 and that lost to City twice, or lost to City once, or dropped points at City. If Liverpool, for example, were given the league for whatever year, or Manchester United were also given the league or whatever, what happened to the teams below them? They might have gone and only been 2 points off Man United that won the league that year, or might have got into the top 4 and missed out by a point, which I know Tottenham did ahead of Arsenal, or Arsenal did ahead of Tottenham.
Yeah.
That season where they won, Arsenal probably went and do you know what I mean? They lost at the Etihad probably. If they were to go given those points, exactly. I know Tottenham beat them. If they were to not be given those points, they probably get into the top 4, which means there's financial ramifications for that. There's also teams that were relegated in those seasons that haven't been able to go and come back because they lost a couple of games, and they might have just missed out on, do you know what I mean, on kind of retaining their Premier League status. So for me, it's a bit all jumbo. One thing that I'd want to go and point out, though, with this whole thing in regards to City, I find it very ironic, right, that regardless on the amount of money and amount of revenue that these clubs are bringing in, so the likes of Liverpool, United, Barcelona, Real Madrid, like big establishments within football, they're all doing dodgy stuff under the books.
Of course.
Like they're all doing dodgy stuff under the books because they all have to go and negate some of the costs, checks and balances, pay someone this way in order to do it that way. Like Chelsea have found a loophole, and they've been very open with the loophole, but because there's no law to it, it's one of those ones where I guarantee you, if FFP gets amended this season, you're not going to be able to go and do that next year. So next season, you're not going to be able to go and give someone an 8-year contract and spread that cost, or 10-year contract to spread over like a 200 million deal. You're not going to be able to go and do that. I just find it funny that it is City that are getting the brunt of it, because I do believe if this was Liverpool or United in this situation, they would never, ever, ever even attempt to go and do that, because the stability and the amount of money and the pool that these clubs have in the league, it is too big. And I believe what they're trying to do, the Premier League or the FA anyway, I think they're trying to make a statement to go and this is my point. For me, what they're trying to do is scare off any more potential Qatari, Russian ownership into the Premier League. You look at the backlash that Abramovich had, obviously, after the Ukraine debacle, had to go and sell out. Newcastle were able to go and obviously obtain ownership of Newcastle. So Saudi Arabia were able to attain ownership of Newcastle because essentially there was no legal reason as to why they couldn't. But they tried to fight. They tried to do everything in their power. They tried to block it in the year before. They tried to block it in the summer. They then obviously, in January, I believe, that's when it came in and they were able to get Eddie Howe. Just before that, Premier League clubs didn't want them in, tried to veto that move. That's obviously gone ahead. If you get all these teams now, so Man United look like they're going to be purchased, you get other clubs that are going to be purchased. If there's no checks and balances, and if they can't monitor what's going on, it's going to be a whirlwind because they've got so much money. They've got more money than the actual league combined, which then threatens the position of the league. But essentially what you have happen is the Premier League teams become a Super League in the sense because of the amount, and you're seeing that already with the amount of money that's being spent. The fact that Chelsea were able to go and spend 600 million in one window more, or the Premier League spending more than all the other top 5 leagues in Europe. That's ridiculous. So obviously to go and see that, for me, I'm just a bit like, there's more to it than just, City have broke, like been a bit like have cheated or whatsoever. Because I know for a fact, Liverpool, United, they've all done similar things. Like taking out loans here, put this in this person name. It's not being highlighted. And I guess if you don't get caught, you're not guilty. And that's where it seems like. It seems like they've had a vendetta against Man City. It's been coming for Man City because Man City they've been so successful in the Premier League. They've essentially wiped out the stronghold of the traditional top 4 you'd have. So the Chelsea, Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool, they came in and disrupted that completely. They can't have Newcastle doing that, a potential Tottenham doing that. It gets a bit sticky. Because the fan bases and the amount of money that they bring in and the clout that they bring in, they can't have those guys drop off. You look at what's happened in Italy. You can't have, like, do you know what I mean, Juventus down in the dumps and Inter Milan down in the dumps, because you see what happens with the league. Because they essentially are the face of the league. And when you look at these teams, they are the face of the league. Man City aren't necessarily the face of the league. They're not. Regardless of how well they're doing, they're not the face of the league. And that's the problem that they've got. So I find it quite interesting, man. I find it quite interesting in this. When I look at now as well, for me, and this is something I'm going to obviously talk about, but I'm going to get to the comments first, yeah? Does this impact investment into future clubs? Because once they set a precedent, in my opinion, right, and they say, cool, this is not allowed. You're being any FFP nonsense, and you're getting, let's say they were to do the worst kind of punishment City could get, which is getting relegated or kicked out of the Premier League, right, expelled. If they were to go and have that impact, I don't know whether a Qatari consortium wants to invest with the same vim or has that same goal. Because ultimately they want to get in to go and spend money. They don't want to go and spend what they're making. Like I know that sounds difficult to understand, but they don't necessarily want to come in and just be like, yeah, well, we're going to just spend what we make and we're going to purchase this team because they make a lot of money and we're only going to spend within our means. No, this is fantasy football for them. Do you know what I mean? This is a cash injection when you're playing on FIFA and Football Manager, when you go in and you type in the code and you get an influx of cash. I could just buy anyone who I want. This is just this is the game between them. So what you're seeing between the Middle Eastern parties now, with the likes of PSG, even Todd Bowley to a certain extent, is we can go and spend what we want. Do you know what I mean? We can spend what we want. So if I can spend what I want, it's not now, I'm trying to, I care about FFP and stuff. This is more when I'm hearing about the way they're describing these owners. So the QIA. If I'm wrong, correct me. Might be QSI, but I think it's QIA who want to buy United, right? You hear a lot of talk is QIA, the owner of this Qatari consortium. He's a massive United fan. He understands the history of United. When you hear that just sounds like a fan with money that just wants to go and spend money. Like that's not an ownership. Like I know there's this like amongst fans, there's this massive kind of feeling that an owner's got to be a fan of the club, and I actually differ. I believe they need to obviously have the club's interests at heart, but it needs to be from the club's interest, not a fan's interest. Like the fact that they obviously Abu Dhabi invested in Man City, they weren't Man City fans. Do you know what I mean? They weren't PSG fans. But when you're hearing now, yeah, this person's a Newcastle fan, he's investing in Newcastle. This one's a Liverpool fan, he wants to invest in Liverpool. This just becomes a game of who's got more money and who am I going to go and get. And the end goal for these type of clubs is I'm going to have Mbappe, you're going to have Haaland, and we're going to have a face-off and we're going to see who wins. Now, for me, like that goes against what FFP is. So, and it goes against what FFP is, and that goes against what the Qataris or owners really want to do, especially if considering how the market is going in terms of how much money is being spent, the types of players that are being bought, especially when looking at the Premier League.
No, like just before you get into the comments and stuff, like I agree with that. Like this whole fan stuff, like I hope people don't believe it because it's all cap. Like these guys are not fans of any. Like they might admire some of these teams. I'm not saying they don't, But to come out and to be telling people, yeah, I'm a fan of United or I'm a fan of Liverpool, I'm a fan of this team. I'm like, yeah, as Jerry said, like, I don't really care if you're a fan. Like, to be fair, you being a fan might actually hinder, more than anything. Because at the end of the day, as much as we cuss FSG, at the end of the day, from a business point of view, as much as we don't like it as a fan base, from a business point of view, fantastic. You cannot say a single bad word about them in terms of from a business point of view. Obviously, from a football point of view, of course, we know they could be doing more, putting more money into the team, etc. All that kind of stuff. Yes, we all know, blah, blah, blah. Fair enough. From a business point of view, they've been able to take Liverpool from what they were worth before to what they are worth now through whatever means that they've obviously been able to do. Obviously, manager, commercials, all these other different type of streams that they've been able to do. So I'm looking at it you can look at it from both sides, really. From a fan's point of view, you're not going to be happy unless your team is the best team and it's winning everything. So however that kind of comes, you probably wouldn't really care, i.e. Manchester City fans didn't care what Man City were doing behind closed doors because they were winning everything. So, and that's exactly how any fan of any football team would be like. If that was at Liverpool, I would be sitting here smiling if I knew we were winning 3 back-to-back Premier Leagues and this cup and that cup and blah, blah, blah. No one cares. People act like they do care, but you don't care, because the reality is what you really want more than that and what you care more about than anything is your team being the number one, your team being the best, blah, 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 blah. Everything else then becomes secondary purely through that fact of my team is the best, pure and simple. However that happens, you don't really care. You just want your team to be the best. We're all just getting into this whole, I can't do this sports washing, alleged and all that kind of stuff because it goes against, you didn't care beforehand. It's only because we've seen what money can do to a football team, a small club like Manchester City. We've seen what it can do. Hence why the Newcastle ownership, that's why I think they've been a little bit more smarter with what they're doing. But you also got to understand where they were coming from with Newcastle is totally different from the space that they were coming from for Man City. Man City was on a smaller scale. Remember, they were tiny and they were in a city that already had a global club in Manchester United. Newcastle are the biggest club. They're their own club. You know what I'm saying? In Newcastle. So
I think what people are missing as well, sorry, G, as well, is that Newcastle, the fact that they didn't spend for so many seasons, they were able to
spend. Able
to go and spend. Once they hit that cap, it's going to be a bit more different. And I wouldn't be surprised, and of course this is just my opinion, where they've also got the smartest people in the business to find out ways, and that's what their job is, their role is, and they're appointed in this all this financial advisor, this lawyer, that lawyer, to find out ways in which they can go and spend money legally or without being caught by FFP. PSG have done it. They tried to do the same with PSG. Chelsea, they had a ban under Abramovich. Like, do you know what I mean? Teams with money are going to want to go and spend it. Otherwise, what's the point?
What's the point? And you got to remember. You go.
No. That's what I'm saying. What's the point? Because a Chelsea's never going to generate the amount of money Liverpool does, because Liverpool's just a bigger club and it's an older club. It's a more historic club. So globally, it's always going to be a bigger club. Like, do you know what I mean? All they can do is just what we do on the pitch. Now, the way they want to address what they're doing on the pitch, like Man City, is by spending the money in the right areas to go and make sure what they make on the pitch is bringing them enough revenue for them to go and at least have on paper, like, look, we're winning everything, so we can spend this money, as opposed to not winning everything. But that's the problem you're going to go and have. I look at, for example, Man United. I don't know how that works. I don't know how that works because, they make a lot of money, but they spend a lot of money as well already. The Qataris are going to have to be very, very clever in the way in which they're able to go and manipulate accounts and manipulate where money is coming from in order to get certain deals over the line. Everyone just assumes they come in and they're going to go and spend. Not with FFP breathing down people's necks. And I guarantee that's a massive stumbling block for any investor. If this punishment goes through, it's going to be a massive stumbling block for any additional investors with a lot of capital to go and obviously spend in the Premier League.
Nah, factual, bro. And you got to remember as well, as much as we're saying Newcastle have to can spend, obviously Mike Ashley was a tight one. Obviously they didn't spend and they were still earning. Again, again in a different space than a Manchester City. The fan base is a lot bigger, so they were able to build up this whole revenue and stuff. They've got to win at some point in time. This can't just be a thing where they go the next 3 seasons, 4 seasons, or however long it is. And I think it's a 3-year period. I feel like it's a 3-year period, but they can't just keep not winning something or finishing in Champions League places for too long. Otherwise, this spending, they've spent over, I feel like they've spent over 200 million in the last couple of windows now already. Now, obviously, that is stark contrast to what they were spending prior to the owners coming in. Now, if Newcastle don't start making European competition, obviously they're going to this season, I believe. So it's probably already started. But if they don't start making that consecutively, then it becomes an issue later on down the line, because then you can't even just keep spending, because then you're realistically, you'd have to have one massively big summer of just crazy spending to be able to try and win something, to then be able to show it on the books, because eventually, I don't know Newcastle in terms of worldwide and stuff like that, so I'd be the wrong person to ask, but worldwide, I don't see them as a big club. Do you get what I'm trying to? They're a big club in England, but outside of England, I don't look at them as, oh, that's a massive club kind of thing. Maybe bigger than a Manchester City, maybe, but in terms of worldwide, I don't feel like they're going to be that big. So they're going to have to, if they don't start winning soon, they're going to do what Manchester City have been doing anyway, because they're going to need to do that to be able to win, to try and do what Man City are obviously currently doing now, which is cooking the books in some way, shape or form, if they're not winning. The difference, like I say, is that when City came in with them, they splashed that money so fast that you thought it was going out of fashion. Whereas Newcastle haven't really done that, and they've been able to still put themselves in a position now where they're sitting third or fourth in the Premier League. So,
but that's unprecedented. But that's unprecedented because they're ahead of their time. They didn't sign Chris Wood for 20 million on that deadline day, or like that January last year, where everyone was like, "That's a joke thing to disrupt what Burnley are doing and send them down," because that was their striker. And they said, "Well, we'll spend that 20 million there, knowing that
they'll make it back
a year after they're going to ship him out on loan to Nottingham Forest." Like they didn't expect this type of development. They thought this might be a 2, 3, 4 year project where they can go and get to the position. The fact that they're in the top 4 now, it's just going to enable them to go and spend even more, because what happens? Champions League money comes in. There we go. And do you know what I mean? And like I said, when you've got money like this, no one makes their money by ticking all the boxes, dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's. You got to be a bit dodgy. I'm telling you that. Listen, I say some free, like real rap, some free game. Don't always do everything by the books, innit? Don't always do everything by the books, because sometimes you just get burnt. Sometimes you get burned, man. Sometimes you got to be a bit. You got to have some nuance around you. And these clubs, the fact that these owners, the fact they've got so much money, that's how they've made it. They've made it by being cunning, by being one step ahead, by understanding, you know what, doing what Todd Bowley done. Yeah, they've been a bit more brazen about it. What was Roman Abramovich doing for years? FFP's been in place for years. Then you got bagged that 1 year. What about PSG? PSG did it for years. They only got bagged. What happened with City? City only didn't get bagged. Why? Because they found a loophole. Because they can't go back as far as the Premier League.
The timestamp thing,
the timestamp. So what is that a loophole then? Because I know a lot of people will be talking about and saying, you know what, yeah, but they've agreed on a set of rules and they haven't. Yeah, rules are made to be broken. It's mad. When rules are in place, they're made to be broken. Like, you have to think of it like that. So, yes, it's crazy. But I know for a fact, like, and I'm not going to get into it, that Liverpool have done some stuff under the books. And I'll send it to you, like, Gio will talk about it. I'll send it to you later. Liverpool does stuff under the books where you're like, oh. And it's just... It's the same kind of realm, innit? It's just the only thing difference is for me is City have been bagged, and they're not a massive institution in English football. In English football, the top 6, like your Uniteds, your Arsenals, your Liverpools, especially those 2 clubs, they're such a powerhouse in the FA in terms of the influence, in terms of what they want. When they were going for the Super League and all of that, the reason why it was scary was because you had United, you had Arsenal, you had Liverpool, you had all these teams going in for it, right? It's because of their influence. The Premier League can't risk going and dumping one of them into the Championship, and they would never do that. They would never do that. With City, though, they can go and set a precedent. They can go and use them as an example to, you know what, if you mess about, this is what's going to happen, because they haven't got that fan base. They haven't got that pull, and as I said, they're not the face of the Premier League. Liverpool, United, Arsenal, Chelsea, they've become faces of the Premier League.
Right.
City are still on the face of the Premier League. When you think of the Premier League or you think back historically, you don't think of Sky Blue. You don't.
No, definitely not. Now Quinn and them, man. Nah.
Yeah.
Sean Goat.
Sean Goat. Yeah,
Goat.
man. Exactly.
That's jokes. Hey, big up everyone in the chat, man. Make sure you're I'm seeing 98 people now in there, man.
Yeah.
Let's get them likes up, people.
Yeah, smash the likes, people. Smash that. We're going to get into some of the comments as well. Big up to Jamrock as well in the building. Thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated. Saying they agreed to the rules and yes, cheated the rules. Yeah, like point blank, they did, innit? Yeah, but
maybe you know what? I'll say it. Yeah, they cheated, but
you got me.
I just feel like
you
it's
got
a
me.
loop. Yeah, you know, like
You got me.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what to say, but I feel like it's like loophole their way. They tried to, and obviously they've been found out. If they never got found out, they'd just be continuing doing what they're doing, innit? So yeah, but I agree, Jamrock. Yes.
Do you know what it is? For me, there's obviously, I don't know how to explain it. There's levels of cheating, right? Now, if I heard that City were doing like, you see, for me, the brown envelope conspiracy with Sir Alex Ferguson and United is a bigger conspiracy for me, and it's something that needs to be looked into more than this. This is just like, cool. They have the money anyway. They're just trying to find a way in which they can spend it without this FFP because they've got the money to spend it. They've got the money. Exactly. Like they're going to be bankrupt, right?
Yeah.
What Juventus were doing and stuff, where it's like
that's a mad
people off, or Napoli, or when Napoli were going up to players and saying, "Do you know what I mean, gun in your mouth?" and just like, "Yeah, bro, I need you to go and score an own goal this game, or your family's." You know,
that's way more better than this.
That's just cheating, bro. That's that you're actually cheating the game on the pitch, the stuff
directly.
Off the pitch. The stuff off the pitch, I guess that's where you got to be clever in the market, bro. Some brothers have Michael Edwards, some brothers have P. Do you know what I mean? Like you're working with different things in it. Like, one man might have a baseball bat, one man has a snooker ball and a sock in it. They both do damage in different ways.
Both do damage, boy. Get hit with one of those regardless, you're pissed.
I remember I got licked in my leg by one of them, man. P.
What, snooker ball?
Snooker ball and a sock, bro, in school, like. Little beef thing, and then this. Listen, oh my
First
god!
of all, where are you even getting snooker balls and bringing it into school? But that's another story.
No, but he had it. Listen, he had it in the. No, do what happened? It wasn't even by accident. Basically, I explain it. And shout out to but listen, there was my school. Yeah, had a beef with. This is mad with the chicken shop brothers. Yeah, because listen, the brothers.
Why are you beating the chicken shop brothers?
No, I don't know it. No, but what it was, I think it was like one of them went, and it was like someone from our school. I think I was in year 8, it was in year 7. I said something to the chicken shop, like brothers, and like dashed the chicken and chips at the breader. And obviously, you know, like the beef that you get in the chicken shop, like, you people are acting up, right? So he done that, and obviously dashed that at one of the breader's dads, and that worked in the shop. So this brother now obviously said, cool. He came out and they had a little scrap, like the son of the chicken shop man and the thing, right? And obviously that spilled over. And then when the school is, you go down the hill, you walk down the hill to get to Lewisham, right? So if anyone knows, they'll know what Lewisham is, what I'm talking about. Not going to specify where exactly. It's a bit mad, but Lewisham, right? You're going down the hill. They came out from the back buildings because from Lewisham, you can come up. So they came out from down the hill after school, like buried them with like baseball bats, flipping wet towels, like madness like that.
Right, man said wet towels. I know what they're trying to do.
But that's what I'm saying. And there was just a scrap happening. It was in the middle of the road, a scrap, right? And one of my boys, had a snooker ball in a sock. And you know, like when the bread is in front of you and you're just swinging it like this, but you're not hitting anyone. You're just doing this like get away type of thing. He's doing that, and I'm trying to move out the way. He's caught me in like my thigh bone, bro. You see, for me, I just left what was going on there, bro. I just went and I got the bus. I just got the bus home. I didn't get bagged that day.
Bro, forget all of that. But that pain,
Nah, but it was crazy. But yeah, man.
Hey, real rap stories, man. Real rap stories, man.
Exactly. New Balance saying, I don't want titles that we didn't earn. United fan. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, big up yourself.
I agree. Jam was saying they don't deserve to keep the title either. No club deserves to get the title from previous, but they don't deserve to keep the title. Maybe so. Maybe. But I do what it is. Even if you take the title away from them, everyone's going to know they won it, though.
Yeah,
Well, I know
why you taking it off them,
intrinsically, I know Aguero scored that goal and they won the league.
For real talk.
I know Liverpool lost. That feeling's never gonna go away.
Yeah, like
that feeling of your best wasn't good enough. Your best wasn't good enough. Yeah, like the feeling that our best, Liverpool's best, wasn't good enough to win a league. Like in that season, it's still gonna hurt the same, bro.
Yeah, like
hurt. So it's like.
So I don't get it. Like, what do people want? Okay, strip them of the title, then what? So, okay, strip them of the title, don't give it to anybody. So now we just got a gap in the Premier League years, like just a big old gap. Bro, this ain't Italy, bro. This ain't no match fixing, bro. It's not that deep, man. I don't think it's that.
Yeah, exactly. Albert Boiffer saying, so how the hell do you explain this away? Just want our titles. They're not our titles.
You have to earn the titles.
Exactly, man. Big up to Jay. I hope you're doing well. Saying, hope we smash Everton, lads. I work with too many of them. Can't take this shit of them. Play Trent in midfield and Milner right back and get Hendo back in. The kids will get bullied. You know what? We're going to have to do at this point. I'm not going to lie to you. Everything you're saying there, I'd even agree with right now. Like, just do something different. Like, you know, that might be the start of something great. You know, like that. You know, when Benitez played Gerrard out right mid, and we're thinking, what's going on? And he got his best like goals and assists ever in that season. It might have to be one of those. It might have to be one of those right now because we're in the mud. We're in the mud. Nubat said the breaking the rules is the best way to put it. Might not be malicious or something crazy, but the rules are there for a reason. And if you break them, that's on you as a club. Simply put, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they have to firm it. They have to hold that. They have to charge.
Yeah, you have to hold that.
Luke LFC, big up to Luke, saying, wonder how many of these City fans will go and support Chelsea now. LOL. We've got James Doherty saying they're crafty. Jamrock again, appreciate the super chat saying exploiting a loophole and flouting rules are different. Yeah, that's fair. Similar though. Where's the line? It's a fine line. It's a fine line. Jerry's if they are relegated, those arguments will come up regardless. The teams that came 18th in all those seasons will have a claim. Also, the EFL, League One, and League Two teams won't want Man City. They're definitely going to want.
It's the ramifications in terms of prize money that you could remember. All these teams get parachute payments. What do you do with the parachute payments? Do you take it back now and then, or do you add on to it? Do you like? I just feel like it's not going to be as simple as that, man. I don't know, but I don't know. No idea.
Sorry, I just got Captain Sal said the chicken shop man was like Gris.
Yo, that is cheeky. Yo. Hey, no cheekiness, bro. No cheekiness, man. Hey, I'm not involved, man. I'm not involved. It wasn't my Hey, South London is a dirty place, bro. You gotta be careful, bro. You gotta be careful. Don't know who you might bump into.
It's true. You actually don't. You don't know. We got New Balance saying GGMU. Amazing times. Liverpool not so good and City in trouble. LOL. Something clouding over them during a title race with Arsenal. So in all, Jerry, I'm very, very happy. I can imagine as a United fan, we're very happy, man. We got Mr. Brooks saying, big up JJ and Minister G. They're calling you know what? We're gonna have to get you the little collar, bro.
Yeah, I don't mind. You know what I mean? All this stuff.
No, I'm talking about you know the priest.
Yeah, I know the priest. Yeah. I don't mind that. Yeah, I mean we can sort something out.
Yeah, cool. Big up JJ, Mr. G. We need that old money by the summer. Let's see what Klopp could do with it. Yeah, to be fair, we do need that old money. I don't want. I don't know if I want to see. Yeah. I don't know
what Klopp can do with it, but I want to see that oil money, 100%.
Yeah, man. We need, to be fair, we need G to anoint that oil first, bro. We need Minister G to anoint the oil before it can be spent. I don't know if Klopp's gonna get anointed with that oil,
bro. Anointed? No way, bro. You're not getting baptized around my
man's getting expelled from the parish, bro. You know?
100%, bro. I'm bringing charges to you any which way. Any which way.
Man. We got Kevin Ritchie saying, love from Philly, JJ. The shows recently have been class. Big up. All the way from Philly. Meek Mill City. Big up. We got Weeno in the building saying, to be honest, what City have done sounds like all these aggressive tax avoidance schemes that are dodgy but not legal. That's what it is. That's what I feel. That's what it is. I put it in the same bracket. Gio saying Super League ain't that bad, eh?
Why?
All I'm telling you, and I told someone already, right? and I've said it before with the 5-year plan. I'm going to say it again. In 5 years' time, we'll probably sitting in the Super League, bro. In 5 to 10 years' time, we'll probably be sitting in the Super League. But, you know,
100%.
we can talk about that another time. Angel 1968, big up to Angel, saying the Arabs own football clubs as a hobby. The Americans own football clubs as a business. Pay your money and take your choice. City's infrastructure is fantastic. And if I was a City fan, I'd be happy.
Facts.
Exactly.
I'd be super happy, bro.
Nubat saying, I respect Liverpool. Us guys are traditional clubs who have earned our wealth and name, unlike the teams that want a fast-track plan to success. You know what? I'm going to disagree with that, right? What Liverpool and United were doing back in the days was the same thing. They didn't have FFP. They were richer than everyone else. They could spend all the money. They didn't go and like develop like soul youngsters and it got them to where they are. Like it's impossible. Like, they were there to do it first. It's like the Bitcoin people, innit? People that invested in Bitcoin, the people that got in there first made all the money. Everyone else now has got to put in a lot of money to get some back. Do you know what I mean? Whereas the people that put in a couple pence early, yeah, they just made their money. But I don't know if they earned their wealth.
That's why the class of '92 is seen as something crazy in world football. That's why that's Sir Alex Ferguson legacy right there. That is basically what his legacy has been built upon. Class of '92, because you've never ever seen a team develop this many players and be so successful. Obviously dotted around with, you know, all these other guys and stuff like that. But once that finished, Man United couldn't develop again. Man didn't see no other players being developed at Manchester United and another class of whatever, all Pogba's, Lingard's, Ravel Morrison's, all these, what? You think these men were going to come in and win Premier League? No way. Football changed after that, baby. Football changed.
Yeah, facts, man. Guys, make sure we're smashing the like as well. We've got 90 people in the building. Let's get to 80 likes at least. 80 likes at least, please. Big up to everyone that's already smashed the like. Ends man saying big up, saying man like Allison on the back of the shirt.
Hey, yo, get out of here, man.
Bro, all I'm saying is, I know why G wants no back on the name of the shirt, bro. I know why G wants.
Bro, you're dumb. You're actually
There's
dumb.
evidence, no name on the back, bro. I want nothing on the back. You know, like that.
Bro, you're dumb. I'm coming to get you anyway, don't worry.
Anfield Road End saying shout out, man. Then big up to Anfield Road End. Gio saying people will be shocked at what Arsenal invest in the summer. Since Stan Kroenke has 100% ownership, we've spent 100 to 150 million per summer with Europa and no Europe. This summer, I see 350 M's. I don't see 350 M's. If you have 350 M's, FFP are going to come knocking on the door. I don't know where.
Big man thing, boy.
Out of all those top 4 clubs, Arsenal are the team that just the way the world works, they're the ones to get it the worst. They're like City might even bust case and it'll be Arsenal that get relegated. It'll be Arsenal after winning the league, they get relegated. That's how life works. It's crazy. We got Sophia's talk, football talk. Big up to Sophia saying, as a Man United fan, I don't want their leftover titles. Give them points reduction, several transfer bans. Relegation would be great as well. Yeah, if anything, that's probably what it's got to be, man. It's probably what it's got to be. Phoenix 93 saying Crofton School. Ooh, close. I'm not reeling that.
Even I know the Crofton School. That's
he knows Crofton School. Mad. Crofton was mad, man. Do you know why Crofton got shut down?
Why?
You know they had a squatter in the attic for like 5 years and no one knew.
Serious?
And obviously just out of safety, innit? Like safety.
Yeah, no, of course. You
got a grown man just living like in the attic in the school, bro. They had to just
with a bunch of kids.
It's crazy, innit? It's crazy. We got King Cop saying, Jesus, JJ, I'm Irish and we weren't even that bad at school. Yeah, come to South London, man. Come to South London. Take you on a tour, bro.
You know when someone needs a welcome to London kind of pack, it's like, yeah, come to South London. You'll learn everything you need to learn about London in that one trip. I promise you. The highs and the lows, man. We'll take you to like your Beckenhams, your Bromleys, but then we'll take you to your Lewishams and your where else was
that. Joe James saying, Joe, you can just say Jamrock. I can debate you on that any time. What? So you don't want the 1975? It's just Jamrock now. You know, like that. I'm getting to know Jamrock on a personal level. You know, I was giving him the respect. I don't want to just call him like Jammy. Just be like, yeah, Jammy, yeah, or J Rizzy, J Rocky. Do you know what I mean?
You know that, yo, J Rock.
J Rock. But yeah, cool, Jamrock, cool.
Big up Jamrock, man.
Yeah, we got Neo Christodoulides. Hopefully I said it right. No, Neo Christodoulides, cool. Christodoulides, yeah? Neo Christodoulides, cool. Big up to yourself, saying, like and sub to the boys. As for the City situation, I do feel that if the money used didn't push them to the top, we'd have more trophies. Relegating them isn't enough for me. Your thoughts? I don't think so. Because then I could put the argument that Liverpool wouldn't have been as motivated to go and achieve the points tallies that they did, because both Klopp, the players on both sides, so Pep, Klopp and the players on both sides have all said that City and Liverpool both propelled them to those levels because they were both motivating each other. One without the other wouldn't have created the monster that it has. So yeah,
and I don't think you get record like points. If Man City didn't do what they did, I don't think Liverpool get the points record and all of that stuff just wouldn't happen. Remember, these things happen for a reason. So yeah, man, I agree, man. You don't propel, one needs the other. We need title races in football, like economics. Like we just need them. Man United, Arsenal for years. Chelsea were kind of banded around by themselves for a little while, and you kind of saw how that was getting played out. They weren't getting no record points and stuff like that. It's only when now Man City and Liverpool were able to go up another notch. You just saw a whole different kind of stratosphere of football, quality-wise.
We've got D1. Hold on, we got D1 Millie in the building saying, "Big up JJ and G. Hit the like button, people. Hit the like button. Let us know how you're feeling, bro. How you feeling, man? How you feeling?
Hey, ain't looking like no Millie right now, man.
In Albert Bradford saying, "We earned it. They were stolen, Jerry. That's like reparations for unlawful servitude." Nah, man. This is shameless, bro. Earned it. We didn't earn jack. We didn't do it, bro. You're talking about like a couple draws and that. Like that's what I'm saying. Like that's on us.
And not even against a Manchester City. That's how mad it is.
Yeah.
Not even against Man City.
EK saying in 5 years' time, FSG will probably still be our owners. I wouldn't be surprised. Blue Rider saying, whatever happened to the Super League? City were one of the clubs that didn't sign up. That could account for some credit with the FA. Facts. 100%. But that's why they're gonna. It might do, but that's why I believe that City are being used as a stick. They're going to be. Their example is going to be set using Man City because they can't do that to Liverpool. They can't do that to United. They're too big. They're just too big of an entity. They're bigger than the Premier League themselves. Those clubs. So to go and do that is very difficult because they just go, all right, then we're going to go do the Super League thing. If Liverpool were to get relegated, they go straight into do the Super League thing.
Of course.
Man City, PSG haven't got the clout to set up a Super League. That's why those clubs didn't want the Super League because with the current model, they're able to go and do what they want. In a Super League model, that won't account for anything.
But we're doing that anyway, Jerry, because we're already doing legacy and coefficient. We're already doing that anyway soon. So either way, if Liverpool don't make, this is why I say about FSG, and obviously people have been saying it, I don't feel like they really care because they know in 3 years' time, Liverpool could probably not make Champions League for the next 3 years. We'll probably still be in the Champions League just through legacy. So is that not the same thing as the Super League anyway, just under UEFA ruling? Like some of it is already Super League-ish anyway, but they just want it to be done under their own organization and under their own perimeters. So we're already getting the Super League. We're just not getting it in the format of how the Super League. But I promise you, if the Super League people come back, like Real Madrid president, Manchester United, Liverpool, if they come back and present it differently, why wouldn't you want a Super League? If you're one of the supporters of those clubs anyway, you actually would want a Super League anyway, just not done maybe in NBA style format. Maybe, I don't know. But when I looked at the Super League first time, I was like, yeah, that's calm. Like, let's
well, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, nah, man. I was like, nah, but that's because I was like, nah, man, I want the Premier League. I want to go to like Norwich and Stoke and that. I don't want it to these top teams. And I was saying we're gonna be mid. I was like, in this thing, the only way they could do that, they'd have to restructure all of football. It'd have to be a draft system. Like it'd be ridiculous. Like it'd be too long to go and set up the NBA like that. So for me, I was looking like, cool. So it's these top teams, but we haven't got the money like these other teams, but we're in the Super League. So we end up just being the bottom barrel, like feeder club. Like I was like, this is dead, bro. I was like, this is dead, man. Especially when we're competing for leagues. I was like, nah, this is dead. This can't happen, man. This can't happen. But like I said, when I look at like, the NBA and I look at just the way it is, it's just everything's clear. Everything's clear. There's never any issues. There's no like, oh, this person spent too much. They know you got your max contract. You can't break the laws because otherwise you're finished. Everyone knows the role, and it is what it is. You have your trade, you have your this. It's just organized better, isn't it? It's just organized.
And remember, and look how the NBA is like. You probably will have to tell me off the top of your head, but other than the Warriors, trying to think of someone else, but you will usually have different teams competing. Again, the Warriors being in the last 5 years, maybe even like the last decade, being like the best team out of everyone. But outside of that, you kind of do have your different winner. Cleveland, obviously, that you've had before. Miami Heat obviously had their period of time for a little piece. Like you even had the Boston Celtics versus the Warriors. That it could have gone either way. Do you know what I'm trying to say? In that NBA championship, like I feel like you're confident. Even this season, I feel like there's actually going to be a different winner. I don't think the Warriors are going to retain their title the way, especially with Curry being out. So I'm looking at it thinking, I feel like it's competitive over there. Here we've had Man United, Arsenal, Man United, and then it's just gone Chelsea for a little piece, and then Man United kind of came back in again. Now it's just been Man City and then Liverpool with the splash of red, and then that's it. Like we're not really getting anything. Oh, sorry, Leicester City have been thrown in there with a splash of blue.
Man called Liverpool just a period in the month. You know like for
well,
the whole
we were
month,
just a period.
And 1 week you're just on your period, innit?
Yeah. We were just a 1-2 week of pain. Big up the girl them out there, but we're just a 1-2 week of pain. Like oh my god. Anyway, yeah, we were just a bit of pain, and that's just like Leicester City. So it's like where I'm seeing that NBA style in terms of how they do things. I like it. I've always liked it. Like I don't care about the relegation and all that kind of stuff. Like you got your teams. This is the elite league. If you might want to go play in the G League or D League or whatever league, that's calm. You might could do that. That can be known as that league, and that league is still respectful because you still have a lot of players who come from that league anyway, and obviously learn their craft before you get into, not even learn their craft, just go out there to play before they come into the NBA. I don't mind. The Premier League can be seen as that as well. You know what I mean? You can be like the G League if you want, or the D League. That's calm. Come to the Super League now. That's the real NBA. Yeah, back in blood. That's mad. You're not exactly, man. You're not going to get us in trouble one of these days,
Neo Christo Dulide is saying, as for the surname, you didn't do half bad, JJ. Listen, you got to make effort. You got to make effort. I don't like people, you know, they didn't even try to make an effort for the name. You got to look at the name, break up the syllables. Clock. I'm like, Christo Delides. I was like, cool. It sounds a bit Greek, so it's not going to be Christo Delides. Might be. But I don't think it is. So I'm cool. I'm going to go with that one. But big up to yourself. Yeah, it's going to get to some of the comments as well. Big up to DK. DK saying, much love from Washington, D.C. What do you think the scenes will be if we fall to Everton at home? Those are going to be the scenes, bro. Those are going to be the scenes. I can't even hear. That's the scenes. Like, you see that meme when he's like this? When Mourinho's like this?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it'll be that, man.
It'll just be yeah. You'll just have to sigh. You'll honestly just have to sigh and just move on. Like, what else could you do? Like, we trust in Klopp, remember? So
someone told me at work, apparently, and I don't believe this, and I didn't even want to check it. I was like, you're waffling. Apparently, there's some reports that if Klopp loses to Everton at Anfield, he's getting sacked.
To be fair, I don't believe that would happen.
I don't believe that would happen. But that would be another moment. You know, another, like, oh my God. Yeah, I mean,
remember, we trust in Klopp, man. So he can't be sacked, technically speaking.
In Klopp, we trust.
In Klopp, we trust. In Klopp, we trust.
J Rock saying, maybe it's because I'm used to the rules over here in the NBA and the NFL. Yeah, maybe it is that. Like I said, it's structured just much better. Like more like when at the time when I was into like basketball, this is maybe like 7 years ago. I was like, what the hell is this? Like, it just didn't make any sense. Now that I'm engrossed in the NBA, not the NFL as much, but the NBA particularly, I'm like, yeah, cool. Like I get it now. I get it, and it does mean that if you want short-term success or short-term pain, like short-term kind of gain, it's kind of long-term pain a lot of the time. So, great example, right? Dallas or the Lakers obviously wanted to get Kyrie Irving, from Dallas. They couldn't just go and buy him. They had to trade for him. They had to trade Russell Westbrook, so one of their assets, and some trades and tradespeople. For anyone that's not into the NBA, they're essentially picks that you'll go and have in the drafts. So when they've got the draft, it's the youngest players, the up and coming players. You get to select from the best pool every single year. They would have to go and give that up as well. So some of the picks that they've already got, they'll have to give that up in order to get that player. Now that's what you're sacrificing. You're sacrificing getting a fresh young player that can become the face of the roster and the face of the squad for someone that's, a ready-made star, but that might not get you that success. So that's what you're looking for.
Just on that, maybe we do, I don't know, maybe we do a show on something like that in terms of looking at the NBA, and this is for all our basketball fans out there as well, NBA and how England could set that up. I feel like the reason why I like the draft pick, don't you think, obviously I don't know how it would work, so you'd have to find a system and how it would work, but it makes it a lot fairer in terms of, for example, I don't know who the bottom place team currently in the Eastern Conference is right now, as an example, but whoever, let's just say as an example, Boston Celtics were the worst placed team in their conference, as an example. Now, the Boston Celtics might have first pick in the draft, for example, just because of how the makeup could be. Now, they could go out and get one of the best youngsters out there. They're one of the worst teams, but they can go out and get one of the best youngsters, have them in their team, help them do whatever. And then obviously that will then in turn later on in the future, potentially they could win a championship with it. Let's say he's LeBron's quality, helps them win a championship. All of a sudden now they've gone from being one of the worst teams, but still able to compete with some of the top teams.
The Cavs, well, not the Cavs, because the Cavs, the Cavs essentially.
Yeah, Cavs essentially, yeah. Because obviously they had him at first and then cool. So yeah, you could be almost in that. So I feel like with the England system, at the moment, what we've got is Manchester City, obviously they're Manchester City, everyone will go there. Chelsea, Arsenal, if you want to put United, but I don't even look at them like that. Like everyone else is just kind of, it's just there. Yeah, I feel like they are just there for the sake of just being there. I feel like if we just kind of mixed it up a little bit, you could get so many different guys, move into all of these different teams. And it just maybe, I don't know. Again, I don't know how you would set that up in England because of how our system has obviously gone for these hundreds of years. So, but I like the NBA style, man. I feel bring that in, man. Bring that in ASAP.
We've got Dimity saying, trust, come to South London and you will find out about the schools. Facts. We got P.O. Ryan. Big up to Ryan. Hope you're doing well. Saying, I'm a constant believer in Liverpool, but I regret to say I've given up on the season already. Join the club, man. Join the club. RJ saying, Blackburn and Leicester winning was refreshing, but with FFP, no club like that will be able to because of the rules of owners not be able to put money into their clubs. I find that sad. That's one thing that I was going to go back to say, is that how a City can't generate the same amount of money as a United, not as a bigger club. You go to like teams like Leicester and Brentford, you're ultimately telling them that's where you're going to stay, bro. For you to go and win the league is a miracle. Those players would have to just perform out of their skin and that's just luck.
Look at them now.
Invest into the squad. They can't be like, you know what? I'm just going to go and pump 50 million into that squad this year because I can do that. If they can't make it and they can't generate, they won't be able to do that. So you're stuck. So it doesn't matter. At that point, it doesn't matter whether your owner's got a lot of money or not.
Well, look at Leicester. Their wage bill is so high because of the bonuses and everything, because of winning that Premier League so unexpectedly. Now their wage bill is almost too high. Look what happened to Blackburn. Won the league once. Everything just kind of went downhill. Literally, because you can't sustain it. As Jerry said, unless you can, they would have to have gone back to back probably to be able to even try and sustain just mediocrity in the long term of things, and that's just achieving mediocrity.
And bear in mind, once a low team like that goes and do you know what I mean, wins the Premier League or something mad, their players are getting ransacked, so they're gonna have to expect that the players that come in just do the same thing again. So Mahrez, Drinkwater, Kante. And Vardy, who looked like he was going to go, right? Vardy stayed. The rest of them all ducked. It means those 3 other core players you're going to have to go and replace, and they've got to do the same thing. Crazy. It's not going to work, man. It's not going to work. Venom 23MC, big up to Venom, saying City and us have run each other into the ground over the last 5 years. Both declined this season, but City squad has kept them up there this season. We say that, but at the same time, it's not even the squad, because the arguments I was hearing is that Liverpool's squad is better.
Yeah,
man for man is better. Last season, Liverpool squad is better. Jamie Phillips, yes, Jamie, you were telling us that our squad is better than City's at the beginning of the season.
Look at me now. We ain't fresher than a motherfucker.
To hear Koresh saying, I don't care about City trophies. Liverpool were losing key games. Got to play your games to win, and we didn't. Facts. Boo Rider saying, anyone following what happened to Juve's ownership? Did it have anything to do with the Super League? I'm not sure. I know there was some Super League backlash, but
I'd have to look into that.
Yeah, I'd have to look into that. Boo Rider then
saying,
what do y'all think of the Ball brothers marketing hype of real talent? Lonzo, D'Angelo, Melo, some talent, but it's the dads.
They're lucky that they've got some talent.
Who's got some talent?
They're lucky that. No, obviously they're not dead. They're not all dead. I can't sit here and say, oh yeah, they're all dead kind of thing. But what I will say is that the marketing obviously is going to be mad regardless, purely because how many of them is there? 1, 2, 3. So when you've got the 3 of them, the marketing is gonna be mad. All you realistically need is, I'm being honest, maybe just one of the, like, you just need Lonzo to ball out for 2 seasons as an example. I'm not saying he's the best, but you just maybe need like Lonzo to ball out for maybe like a couple of seasons, and then all of a sudden, as long as he's balling out and the other 2 are doing decent, that trio is in the NBA doing their thing. One wins a championship, boom, bam, bim, everyone's happy. Like, it will look calm after a while, but they got a little bit of talent. I can't just.
It's the dad, innit? It's his dad that's just it's the marketing, man. It's the marketing. For me, D'Angelo Williams saying it's only Klopp out when this team is in relegation. LOL. These guys want to wait until the worst thing actually happens. Facts. Albert saying, do you agree that silver medal and bronze medal should be upgraded if the gold medal was found to have been doping? No, because then it just waters everything.
The thing is, but that's still different, because you're talking about doping. That is having a direct impact upon your result. What they, like, literally, you've doped, you've done whatever, however you want to put it, to try and win. Here, they've only just done this to just cook books. They could never really have guessed that it could have led to like winning or anything. You've directly done this because you are like trying to affect the field of play. They've not done that to affect the field of play. They just done that to affect the off field of play, so that they can obviously spend, etc., and do whatever it is obviously they need to do. So that's why I'm just like, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't see those two being the same thing. I feel like that I would accept more if I found out if I found out Manchester City players were all taking mad drugs and they all got caught, like 3 years later, we find out, Man City players, Kevin De Bruyne, Kun Aguero, back in 18,
great example. A great example. Do you know what's actually mad? Yeah, this is actually one that we can actually speak about. I talked about Liverpool being dodgy, yeah?
Yeah.
Chat to me about the inhalers, bro. Chat to me about the inhalers.
Yeah, big man thing. I don't get it.
The inhalers. How can like 30-40% of the team have asthma? Is that one of the criteria they do when they're signing players?
What? So 30-40% of the Liverpool team have asthma?
Yeah, have asthma.
No, that's cap.
But the medium, I think the medium for like the world is like something like 10% or something like that, 5%.
Nah, that's cap. How could
that's
that
an
many
overrepresentation? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's an overrepresentation. That's another one that it just gets swept under the carpet, bro. But that's even worse doping. Klopp there is
doping, though. That's actually doping.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's mad. It's mad. That's
what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. That's why shout out companies. The company was saying the football can't be righteous, because when you look around, everyone at elite level is doing some sort of sneaky way to get an advantage. You are. You're doing something
I
to get
didn't
an
even deep,
advantage,
you know what's man? I didn't even deep all of that, I didn't even look at it. I never looked at the numbers. In my mind, it was just like, I never thought the numbers would even be a thing where you'd even notice. I just thought maybe like a 2 to 5% of the entire team. That could be a plausibility. I'll be like, okay, yeah, you can imagine maybe a couple man have asthma, calm, whatever. You're saying that many? Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, man, it's mad. It's mad. And then you consider how much Liverpool are running as well. Certain man wouldn't be able to hack it if they were on asthma, bro. It doesn't matter what pumps you were using. Doesn't matter what pumps you're pumping.
Maybe Fabinho's not taking it. I don't know.
Maybe.
Crazy.
Redbird saying, "Hey guys, did you see Hussam take down a Man City fan on Matish's channel? It's a classic." No, I haven't. I haven't, but I have heard of it. Angel at 68 said the NFL draft is really good, but NFL football players are out of college. Our youngsters are at football academies. Yeah, it's the same as the NBA. So it is a bit different. Boy in the building saying, if City are found guilty and expelled out of the Prem, what happens to all the prize money they've won? Run us our check. That's my point. Prize money, this, like, it just gets silly. What about teams that got relegated and lost that money? Who paid for that? I mean, it's too much. What about teams that missed out on top 4? Like, it gets a bit silly after that. Joe, the best, saying there is a way though, Jerry. You need marketing tactics.
What's that in regards to?
He said, Joe saying, nah, the 2 Ball brothers in the league are talented. They are, but talented to what level? Like, to play in the NBA, you got to be talented, innit? Like, you got to be dumb. Like, I'm telling you now, I've seen certain people that are coming out of the G League, yeah, and I've seen them make like 55, 55 threes in a row. Like, something dumb like that in training. Like, do you know what I mean? But in the game, they will never do it.
They will never do that, yeah, of course.
But I'm telling you, like, the gap level between the NBA players and like an average player is, in my opinion, is way bigger than the gap between an average football player and a pro football player. Like, the gap is way different, because when you're looking at the NBA is there's just one league. There's that one league, bro. That you could go to. Bro, I'm telling you now, man. I know a few, man. I'm not going to assume names. I could just turn up into a League 2 team and they'll be the best player on the pitch and they play Sunday.
You couldn't do that in the NBA. You couldn't just turn up.
You could never. I'm telling you now, it doesn't matter how good you are, bro. You could be scoring 30. You're coming into that league and you're getting like 5 points, 1 rebound, no assist. And those 5 points are coming from that fouls and that, because
Ben
you're 6'9".
Kind of
6'9" and that. Yeah, it's crazy. Off the radar saying, what are you saying? Cheating on the field and off is the same.
Yeah, in essence of cheating, yes. But what I'm trying to say is, as Jerry said before, there's a level of cheating, bro. Like I said, you can Maradona your way through things and take 1-2 drug and do, or rest in peace Maradona. Or you're going to be cooking your books outside of that to affect sponsorship and stuff like that, so that the money you actually do have in your bank account, that you actually have, you're just able to actually, fuck around and play with it, kind of thing. To me, it's just different. Let's put it that way. You'd be more vexed if you found out Kevin De Bruyne, company, all these man were doping before the games, and that's how they were winning matches. You'll be like, nah, that's a madness. But when you hear this, you're just like, yeah, you better just cooking books. I agree. They're just cooking the books still. They shouldn't do that. And that is obviously against the rules. So they deserve to be punished.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. A couple more before we head out. Neo Cristo Delida saying, isn't doping the books, though, doping the squad in which they used to win what they did, though? I don't know, man. City played with monopoly money, which helped the success that they had. Gio saying, there is a way to break into the traditional top 4, but it's going to take time. Let me know who's done it without money. Even Chelsea. Let me know how Chelsea done it without money.
Real talk. You have to do it with money. Like, have to. That is actually one of the remits. You're going to need money.
You need money. And Angel at 68 saying, didn't Liverpool steal Man City's transfer scouting database? They remember that? They stole the Excel sheets. That's cheating, bro. That's Spygate. You see what Bielsa was doing? Bielsa was at Derby with the binoculars outside the thing. That's the same thing. You just scouted their damn players. That's the same thing.
Illegally as well. You're not allowed to do that.
That's what I'm saying. So it's all of that, man. To hear Qureshi saying, as Mo Chacha said, where has the 70 million gone from Liverpool's books? It's gone missing. See? All this stuff.
What are we paying for, bro?
But they're just,
Liverpool,
you know what,
the more you even say this, the more I think about it. Liverpool barely spend any money. We get bare money like that we actually could easily spend. And it's not even coming up that it's going to the owners like that. So now I'm just like, so where did that P even go? You're saying 70 million. Like, I'm not seeing like, 70 million is given to the owners. I know we're paying a little bit back to the owners because they loaned against us or whatever, vice versa, for the stadium or whatever it was. I get that. But I'm not seeing all of the P going. That's like me saying I got 70 mil, but I'm only seeing 30 mil go to the owners, for example. So where's that extra 40 mil? Where's it going to? Because I'm not seeing it on the books, on the spreadsheet saying, it's gone to Jerry James Company Incorporated. Like, I'm just seeing 40 mil supposedly chilling, but we don't have the 40 mil. So I'm like, so where did that 40 mil go, bro? Like, how come you don't have it no more? Fair enough. We'll keep quiet.
Exactly. Albert ended it quite well, saying, look, you may be doing it. If you get caught, you deal with the consequences. That's true in life as well, no? If you get caught shoplifting, doesn't matter those that were never caught. Facts. That's what I'm saying. So they got caught. That's what I'm saying. They got caught, but I'm saying everyone's doing it. So I'm not going to obviously stand there and play righteous. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, they got caught. Gio saying, of course you need money, but I'm saying there's a way to do it with FFP on your ass too. Let me know who's done it. Because Newcastle are the only team right now that have spent money and they're still within the remit of FFP.
But now
Chelsea have been bagged for FFP and City have been bagged for FFP. They're the only two clubs that have got into the top four and they've all been bagged for FFP. Well, City looked like they're about to be bagged. Chelsea got bagged with that transfer ban.
Well, technically, City have been bagged before. They got the 10 million from UEFA. Remember, they got the fine. Yeah. So technically, they did actually. That's why they were able to end that kind of proceedings, and that's why the Premier League were able to take over. But
exactly, man. But look, people, that's going to be it for today's stream. Hopefully, we spoke about something that's a bit more nuanced, a bit more interesting in regards to obviously this takeover, how it might potentially affect Liverpool as well. Make sure we're smashing the like button. Make sure we're subscribing. Make sure we're hitting the notification bell because we will be dropping an Everton versus Liverpool preview, or Liverpool versus Everton preview for the game on the weekend, the big derby. That should be a really, really good one. We're going to have to go into depth in terms of the tactics that Sean Dyche used and how that's going to affect what the hell Liverpool's going to try to do on the weekend, which we don't know at all. Make sure we head on over obviously to GTV as well to get our daily scoop of young players. Do you know what I mean? No names on the back on that channel, but still, do you know what I mean? Names nonetheless. Chat to us.
Slogan somewhere.
Yeah, chat to us. It's on the we have to get T-shirts on the back with no name on the back.
No name on the back. Yeah. 0 as well. No, stay tuned, man. Jerry said it there. Boom. Player watch. Also, if Jerry said we're doing a preview for Liverpool Everton game, then I will drop something tomorrow as like a preview to that, so you guys can obviously watch that in regards to the game against Everton, the team I would pick, how I would like the team to play, and just kind of taking a little look before we obviously this weekend on the Jerry James show, where we can dive straight into it and have a real kind of talk about Liverpool and just what we can do to we're going to be Klopp now. We're going to be Klopp. We're going to be Klopp. We're going to be Klopp and Linders and Kravitz and whoever else over there, the fitness guy as well that everyone's blaming. Me, Romz, Jerry-ish. That's what we are now. Fuck it. I said it.
There we go, man. There we go. Make sure we're staying tuned, people. Stay blessed. Have a good evening. It's been the J James Show, and we're out.